Meanwhile, Trump's biggest supporter is already rushing to his defense. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani even saying this proves that Mr. Trump is smart enough to know our tax system and how to fix it. Take a listen.
My response is he's a genius. I mean, the reality is absolute genius. I mean, the man in The Art of the Deal, this is described. First of all, we're talking about 26 years ago. Perfectly legal. We should get that straight immediately. This is a perfectly legal application of the tax code. And he would have been a fool not to take advantage of it.
Judith Miller is here. She's a Pulitzer Prize-winning author and journalist and adjunct fellow at the Manhattan Institute for Policy Research, also a Fox News contributor. Judy, good to see you.
Good to see you, Arthel.
Okay, let's start here. Is the New York Times report damning or much ado about nothing?
Oh, no, I think it's clearly going to hurt this candidate, as you can see from Mayor Giuliani's and Governor Chris Christie's efforts to spin this into a, gosh, isn't this guy smart for not paying taxes, without either confirming or denying the New York Times report, by the way. Look, it remains to be seen how ordinary voters will interpret this, but I think it's going to be very hard for Mr. Trump to portray himself as a protector of the ordinary, the working guy, when ordinary working people are struggling to make ends meet and to pay their taxes and their fair share. And that's what the Democrats are going to hit Donald Trump with again and again until this next debate.
But as you already heard, Donald Trump supporters are going to say, listen, this is going to prove that Mr. Trump knows the tax system well enough to help out the average American, because he has used it to his advantage, so then he can fix it, that if he becomes the president, and make it work for the smaller worker, if you will.
Well, that's one effort at spinning the story. Another is what Roger Stone, another Trump advisor, said today, which is, let's change the subject. Basically, he started talking about the Clinton October surprise that's coming on Tuesday with the impending revelation of more bad news, supposedly, for Hillary. I mean, there are things you can do, but basically, Americans believe that you have to pay your taxes. And even though Mr. Trump has paid taxes, if he felt good about these tax forms and what he's paid, presumably he would be not violating a tradition of the past decades, which is to release your tax returns. That's what every presidential candidate has done. Donald Trump won't do it, and now we know why. And I think the New York Times story, which has been widely picked up, we're talking about it, everyone's talking about it, really raises questions about, one, to what extent he kind of skirted the law. Now, everyone says that this is not a violation of the law as far as anyone can see, but, you know, it's the same thing as creating a foundation, which is what Donald Trump did, and then making donations that involve other people's money. I mean, Donald Trump has not put any of his own money into that foundation that resulted in donations since 2008. So you see a kind of pattern of a man who's kind of just playing very close to the legal line. And I think it raises more questions about his suitability for office. That's surely the way the Democrats are going to spin it.
And this would be yet another distraction for the Trump campaign, his advisors, to deal with, because as you just said, the Clinton campaign will probably try to chew on this as long as they can.
Right, and this is a second week of bad news. I mean, let's face it, that debate was very bad news, which you heard first assessed on kind of Fox News, as our own anchors looked at it and said, this isn't a good night for him when you have to be complaining about the microphone. Now you've got a second week of bad Donald Trump news. When you're this close to the election, every single story like this counts.
But Judy, if you can give me this in 30 seconds, as we have to go, you know, throughout this entire campaign, various political analysts have been saying, oh, this is bad for Mr. Trump, bad for Mr. Trump, and it never really turns out to be bad for Mr. Trump. So what will voters ultimately make of this? Will it matter to them?
You're absolutely right, and I've been one of those people who, after he attacked John McCain and attacked former President George Bush, said, no, this is never going to fly. But Donald Trump went on winning primaries, and yet the general election, as we all know, is a different kind of contest. So we're going to see what ordinary Americans will make of this. But I think those of us who struggle every year with taxes will not look kindly upon what Donald Trump has done.
Judy Miller, thank you. I have to leave it there, Judy. Take care.
Thanks.